So the Henry AR-7 survival rifle, is it any good? I don't know. That's the first time I've ever shot it. And I had 2, maybe 3 malfunctions. The reason I've been hesitant to invest into an AR-7 in the past is because it's a semi-auto. And semi-auto 22s do have their issues. Low power ammunition sometimes is a factor. If the weapon gets dirty at all, it's going to be a factor. And let's be honest, if you're in a survival situation and you're relying upon a firearm to meet your needs for food or protection, you need 100% reliability. And are you going to be able to keep your weapon completely clean? If you're in that survival situation and you had the forethought to bring a firearm along, that's great. But are you going to have all the necessary cleaning supplies to make sure that stays running clean? I don't know, and that's why I've always leaned towards bolt actions, lever actions, actual manual operations as opposed to the semi-autos when we're talking about a survival firearm. I love the way that it's all really compact, fits into my really small little day pack. I love how that works. It's relatively watertight. It's made out of polymer, aluminum, and really just the actual interior barrel itself, and then the bolt is steel, but everything else is either some sort of aluminum alloy or polymer, which is pretty awesome because it's relatively low maintenance. But the rifle is fairly accurate. These are my groups. I'm just kind of moving the sights and walking it in. I'm getting between 2.5, 3 inch groups, something like that, with the open sights at 50 yards, which, I think is fairly reasonable accuracy, considering the skill of the shooter behind the rifle. So can't fault the rifle for accuracy. It's doing pretty good on that front. I've had 4 malfunctions. It's not a failure to feed. They're feeding, but it's not cocking the hammer back. I guess it's not pushing the bolt back far enough. The recoil is not pushing the bolt back far enough to cock it. Is it the ammo? I don't know. Honestly, I don't really care, because I want something to be 100% reliable, or at least as close as possible, 99.9% reliable. And there shouldn't be any excuses, oh, you're using the wrong ammo, or what have you. I want it to work every time, no matter what I put in it. Now, what I'm seeing here, one of the big problems that I'm having with the sight-in process is this. And at first glance, maybe it seems like a positive, right? It's this flathead screw that can be easily loosened and tightened with just the tip of your knife if you should so choose and you didn't have a multi-tool with a screwdriver on it like I do. But there's no markings whatsoever on the sight, on the rear sight, to know how much you've kind of moved it. I guess you'd be kind of at the mercy of just winging it and eyeballing it, and that's not very precise, and that's kind of to be honest, just a really cheap way to design a rear sight, and I'm not super pleased with it. Front sight, another major issue. Dovetail type sight, and it's friction fit, pressure fitted basically. And normally on a sight like this, what you'd use is a drift, and you'd be able to peck it with a small hammer or something like that and tap it left and right. But let me see if I can get you to see what's happening here. I'm just pushing it with my finger with very little effort. It slides left and right. And what are the chances of you bumping this front sight when you're going through the bush, going through the woods, through thickets and whatnot? Extremely high. The chances of you bumping that sight, just taking it in and out of the stock, assembling it, extremely high, and it's going to need to be sighted in again. And for that reason, no, the sights on this rifle are awful. It puts good groups down range, but it doesn't matter what kind of group you're getting. It's either you hit the target or you don't hit the target. And if the sights are constantly moving on you, it's going to be essentially useless to you. The magazines are kind of, they're all right. Not great. They hold 8 rounds, which isn't too bad. It'd be nice if they held a few more rounds. If you needed to utilize this rifle for a self-defense type situation, not that 22 long rifle would be ideal for that, but If you needed it, 8 rounds, I guess, would be better than nothing. You do have to reach inside of the trigger guard here, which is not ideal, to release the magazine. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty far in front of the trigger. You're probably not going to have any issues with that, but you know, it'd be nice if it was something external. The bolt handle sticks out. When you pull it out, it goes back in. You can push it in like that, but if you should happen to leave it out and have your thumb up here somewhere when you're firing it, you need to be careful with that, kind of like an AK. So you got to be cautious of that. My natural instinct where to grip this thing is right here and right over top of the ejection port, so that would cause a malfunction for sure. It'd probably not feel too good either, so you got to kind of be cautious of that, of where you hold it, because there is no foregrip. If you hold it here, you can't see through the sights. But enough of my complaining about it. Let's see if we can hit one of those small steels down there. Safety does not go on if the bolt is, if it's not cocked. And there's no, it doesn't lock to the rear on the last shot either. So no malfunctions that time around, which is good. I would definitely not want to rely upon it for my survival. Would it be better than nothing? Absolutely. Is it easily portable, easily packed into a pack? For sure. Throw it under the seat of a canoe, underneath the seat of your truck or something like that. Been trying out a couple different kinds of ammo. The CCIs, I guess it's CCI mini mags, they shoot pretty well. The Remington Thunderbolts, those are shooting okay. A couple of malfunctions with those. And then this one is a Winchester Super X. These have not been shooting very good for some reason, and I had a pretty good jam going on, a failure to feed, and see what it did there to it. It's just, you know, I'm really just not impressed with the Henry US Survival AR-7. It just seems cheap to me, you know, for the price tag of, well, geez, I don't know what it is now, but probably somewhere around the $300 mark, maybe more. It just seems just cheap. I would carry my Glock 19 into the field as my survival weapon, my survival firearm over this any day because of its reliability. I know it's going to go bang. Can I shoot it as accurately as this at longer ranges? No, because, you know, it's a rifle. But I know it's going to work, and I know what it's capable of doing versus this thing that I just can't trust. On the bright side of things, it is, since it is a takedown, it's extremely easy to clean the barrel out, the bore, just with a simple bore snake. I guess one remedy to fix the floating front sight is after you get it zeroed, you stick a drop of glue on it or something, you know, a little bit of crazy glue on there to keep it from moving around. Now you could eliminate the need for messing around with any of these sights, these crappy sights that come on the AR-7, by mounting an optic on the rail that comes on there. But if you do that, you're pretty much eliminating the whole reason why this rifle shines in the first place, is in its portability. It won't go in the buttstock if you have an optic on there, unless you use some sort of quick detach mounts on there for the optic. But, you know, then again, you're just adding more stuff and more bulk to it, and that's just probably not something most people would do or be interested in doing on a rifle such as this. I very, very, very much appreciate you guys hanging out with me and tuning in for this video. It does mean a lot to me, and something that would help me a ton is commenting. It doesn't matter what you comment on. It helps with the YouTube voodoo algorithms. Tell me what your favorite color is, doesn't matter. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the AR-7, if you've had any experience with it, if your experience is any better than mine. I'd like to hear about that. But hit that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that, and we'll see you on the next one.